interested in CrossFit?
How did I get into CrossFit?
Yeah.
So I initially thought that, so I wanted to lose weight, first of all. And I was in a stage where if I lost 0.5 kgs and I became from 50 to 49.5, I used to be extremely happy. So I thought if I find kickboxing, I'm going to end up losing weight. So I googled kickboxing and out came CrossFit. I don't know how. I think Google returned the wrong results. And I said, oh, this is right next to my house. And I decided to go there one day. And yeah, so that's how I got into CrossFit. And I quickly realized this is not kickboxing.
At all.
At all. And there was no machines, there was nothing there. So then I met Rajiv sir, who is of course our coach. And he told me that, you know, here there's all these functional exercises and there's weightlifting and there's rope climbing. And then I saw these women actually doing push-ups and pull-ups and climbing ropes. And I said, this is what I want.
Wait, where are those women now?
They're still there.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, like Swati.
Oh yeah, she's
Couple of
amazing.
people. So all the same people, Shalini was there. So all the same people who I got inspired by are still here working out. And yeah, so that's how I stuck with it actually.
And how many years ago was that?
That was 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and how have your goals evolved since that 0.5 kilo joy?
Yeah, so
And
so right now, as of today, my weight is 58.5, and I started CrossFit when I was 49.5. So there was a big jump. It's almost 9 kgs weight that I've put on technically. And the more I got into CrossFit, the more I realized what the body is made of. So our body is made of, for example, muscle and fat. And for somebody who's 56 kgs and maybe, you know, you're the same weight as me, like maybe, let's assume you're 58.5 and I'm 58.5, we can look completely different from each other because our body is composed a different way.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized much later, that if your body is more muscular, muscle is more heavier than fat. And when I started putting on weight, first I got really panicked about it, but then I realized I look better. And then I thought, what is going on? And then I realized I'm putting on muscle and I'm losing fat. So muscle is actually like an organic fat burner.
Right.
So you end up burning your body fat when you put on more muscle, and which is why people say you should do strength training. And you know, and I see a lot of people just so worried about their weight. Every day they come and they say, oh, there's no weight loss. I've put on weight after joining CrossFit. You will put on weight because you're putting on muscles, you're getting a lot stronger. But at the same time, you don't want to put on body fat. So that's when I realized the importance of good food and good nutrition. So it's taken me 3 years to be comfortable at 58.5. Because I used to always psychologically think I need to lose weight. But actually you want to build muscle and you want to lose fat and you want to do it while eating good food.
So at which point in your journey, like when you started, when did you start changing how you eat as well?
Okay, so it took me so it's not only changing what I eat, I think I changed my whole day. So my day as a person when I started CrossFit was like I used to go to sleep at 2:30 a.m. or 3 a.m. because nobody in my house slept early. And I used to wake up at 8:39 and I used to come in the evenings that time. And I used to go to work, whatever. I used to go out probably like 4 nights a week with my friends, eat out and things like that. And then when I started enjoying the workouts, I realized that if I want to lift heavier, if I want to go faster, like my lungs were burning out. And I was feeling tired and I was feeling like there was something totally missing in my life. Like I have to do something and I have to become better. Then I realized I have to start sleeping more. I used to sleep like 5 hours a day. I used to eat all kinds of junk food. Like I used to have chips every day or something like that. It was very weird. And so I realized I have to chuck away all these things. So I started doing more research into that. Like fixing the basics that we think that we all know. So it's like sleep and nutrition and things like that. I started waking up early in the morning because I realized that if I wake up early in the morning, there's no excuse for me to skip my workout.
Right.
Because in the evening, you know, if you have to go somewhere, do something,
Or if you
office
just had
work.
a tiring day.
If you just had a tiring day. And there was a time when after the workout, I used to feel really tired. Like I would want to just go to sleep. And I would feel really exhausted. And then I realized if I ate well, that didn't happen anymore. So now my energy levels throughout the day are fueled from the morning workout and what I eat.
Okay.
So it took me a long time to realize.
I need to get some of this.
Yeah, which is why I sometimes feel like I should just tell everyone.
Yeah.
So that everybody can cut short that 3-year learning curve.
Yeah. Also, I still feel a little bit like I'd like a nap afterwards.
Yeah.
Some days.
So you also just joined CrossFit. So I think how long has it been for you?
6-7 months now.
6-7 months. So that's quite short. I mean, I think you're kind of now figuring out CrossFit in a like what it's all about.
Yeah.
But when you joined it, because nobody usually knows about CrossFit before they join CrossFit. So did you know about it, or did you? How did you get into it?
So I heard about it about 7-8 years ago. A friend of my brother's was doing CrossFit, and I looked up some videos, and I'm like, whoa, this is intense. It's not for me. I don't have the strength to do any of this. And then just like in October last year, I started to work out again, and I started to feel like, okay, I can feel my body changing. I'm getting stronger. I want more of a challenge. And then I got like a bunch of, like, my knees are kind of weak, and I'm worried about the future. Like, I'm worried about how I'm going to stay fit as I get older. So I wanted to do something challenging to basically get stronger. So, like, losing weight and all that would be great, but I feel like that's a secondary goal. Like, one of the goals I've written down, we have that board up there, is to do 1 push-up. And now it's also to do 1 pull-up.
Yeah.
Because I like watching zombie movies.
Okay.
And I feel like if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to die really quickly.
Yeah.
And with CrossFit, maybe I'll last a little longer. So that's kind of just get stronger and survive.
So I've seen you in CrossFit. And I remember when you came in, because I usually feel the need to like make new people feel at home sometimes. So when I saw you, I remember you couldn't do a squat. Like, you were a squat, if you have to go below your knees, you were somewhere way above.
Yeah.
And you were telling Rajiv sir, like, I can't do these, like, I can't do the squat, and I have a knee problem and everything. And now you're doing weighted squats. And then I remember one day you told me that, oh, I wish someday I will do a headstand. Someday. Like, you were like, oh, Priya, this is so complicated. I can never do this. Someday I wish. And now you can do a headstand without the wall support.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So I think it's all because of Rajiv sir. He's the most amazing coach I've ever come across, and he really like pays attention to what's happening with each person's body, and he's been really, really good with me. And so, for example, the first time that I actually went up into a headstand, he was like, it's easy, just do it. And I was like, sir, I think it's going to take me like 9 months to finally do it. And then 15 minutes later, I did it. And I felt amazing. And I think it's because he's a great coach. He's like really attentive, and he gives like really great little adjustments and little tips. I think that's basically the reason I haven't missed a single day. Wow. This is the first time in my life that I have actually stuck to working out. And I look forward to it so much.
Yeah.
The only time I miss it is if I'm not in the city, that's it. And even then, I'm working out when I'm not in the city.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's really changed how I feel about working out in general.
So, do you feel with CrossFit, do you feel like, because this is from my experience, I feel more like I'm being coached as an athlete. So do you feel like you're going to the gym, or do you feel more like you're doing a sport?
I think it's definitely the latter. I feel like I'm doing a sport. Like I'm training to be better at the sport. And every time I've gone to like regular gyms, it's been a little boring.
Yes.
And here it's like every day it's a new thing. You're training different parts of your muscles. Like, the whole functional fitness thing, I'm really feeling that in my life too. Like getting up from chairs used to be a little bit annoying because of the knees, and now it's like getting easier and easier. Getting stronger is fun. That's basically what's happening.
So I feel like a lot of people have an apprehension about their own body type and the way their body is shaped. So since I was a little kid, I used to hate the way my body looks in general, because I was always the short one, I was always the pudgy, fat one. So I've always been really fat throughout my life. Right before I joined CrossFit, I was just trying to lose weight in whatever berserk way possible. But before that, I was really fat and I was short, and my body is athletically built. So I don't have like thin arms and legs and all of that stuff that people consider to be good looking. And I think the society also feels that way. So I was never comfortable in my body, like wearing shorts or like wearing anything, you know, which even showed a bit of my arms, because I used to be very conscious about it. But then when I joined CrossFit, I realized that I can't wear heels and I can't wear makeup in the gym, and I just have to go there and get really dirty about it, you know. And the people around the ecosystem, there are no mirrors in the CrossFit box, right? And that's for a reason, because you know it's not about vanity, it's not about your looks, it's not about your weight and stuff like that. It's just about how you perform, and people applaud your performance. They don't applaud like, oh, your biceps look so good today, oh, your like abs look so nice today. It's more like, wow, you can lift that weight, you can climb that rope. So that really gave me a lot of self-confidence. And I think the way through weightlifting my body has shaped itself. I'm very proud of that. Like now I'm very confident in my body. And people always think that, oh, it's going to make you muscular, it's going to make you this and that. I feel like my body's become really toned, and of course you're going to become muscular in the sense you are going to put on weight, you are going to put on muscle if you lift weights, right? But that muscle is your body's natural expression of fitness. It's not a very synthetic, artificial muscle that we see in a bodybuilding, for example, scenario.
Or they're like big on top
yeah,
and skinny legs.
See, I think your body's going to shape out into and carve itself into what it's meant to be like. Because, you know, we hold on a lot of excess fat, we hold on a lot of things, but the way it carves itself, you get completely toned and things like that. Your body comes out naturally as it is, and then you feel great. Like in your clothes, you feel great without makeup and heels because you're just confident. So what's happened over 3 years is that I've become really confident about my body. Initially, I used to wear loose t-shirts and I used to like pull them down. And now I'm really confident about like wearing just like a normal t-shirt and feeling like I like my body now a lot more.
I think watching you work out is super, super inspiring. Like the first week I was here, I was like, this girl looks like she's a professional athlete. And I asked the coach about that. And he's like, no, she's not a professional. She's just been working out here for a long time. And that was one of the reasons that I was like, okay, this is a real place where these things can happen. So that convinced me to sort of stick around longer.
So please stop.
How are you, sir?
I want to ask you today, I joined 3+ years ago.
Yes.
So, have you seen any changes in me from when I joined to today?
Okay. Any changes? Yeah, lot of changes. You are like, पहले आप पुल अप नहीं कर सकते थे, अब तो आप बटरफ्लाई पुल अप, कीपिंग पुल अप, हर एक चीज़ कर सकते हैं. एंड यू आर लाइक, मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा आप कुछ टाइम से और अब तक तो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गए हो यार. सब लोग बता सकते हैं आपके चेंजेस, तो एवरीबडी लाइक अप्रिशिएट यू कि हाँ भाई एज ए एथलीट यू आर वेरी गुड. तो इम्प्रूवमेंट इज़ वेरी गुड. Great. Shipra ma'am. Yes ma'am.
7 months, sir. What changes?
7 months. Wow. So you tell yourself ना, जब आप पहले दिन आए थे and then that time में और अब में I can see your fitness level is going like very good.
Yeah.
But progression also is very good. But like you have, अभी भी आप करते हो वो चीज़, but just keep pushing yourself.
Basically, headstand नहीं कर सकती थी, squat नहीं कर सकती थी. अब सब कुछ कर सकती हूँ.
Wow.
Yeah.
तो ये
next
चीज़
goal, pull-ups and push-ups.
Yeah. बस just आपको वर्कआउट करना है and बस ऐसे ही पुश करना है और कुछ नहीं. Just keep doing CrossFit in both CrossFit.
In both CrossFit.
So I would like to say one thing, that even after like 3.5 years,
Okay.
You know, the goals become more advanced. Like they don't become like, oh, I've got to pull up, I've got to push up. The day I got to pull up, I was so happy. The day I got to push up, I was so happy. But now my goal is to do a muscle up.
Yes, muscle up.
And now my goal is, you know, like my squat should be like more than 200 pounds. So the goals keep going up. So there's never a lack of goals, and which is why I can do CrossFit forever.
So that is main thing. Now in CrossFit you achieve one thing and then you have to do like lot of more things to improve. कि अभी पुल अप हो गया तो मसल अप, अगर स्क्वाट मेरा 200 हो गया तो now next is 215, deadlift 150 हो गया तो 200, like that.
That's the best thing about CrossFit, is that you can start at any level and it can be scaled up or down according to your abilities. So that's really great.
Good job, ma'am. Keep
Thank
doing
you,
good
sir.
work.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Shipra.
Thanks, Priya.
Really nice talking to you.
I learned a lot today. Thank you.